It won't change me. Money won't change me. I keep it real on the day. World. Good day, world. Today, world, I'm gonna take it back to my own city, man. You know what I'm saying? Do a little something different. You know I'm all about my city. I love me. But where I'm gonna do something off the radar. I'm gonna do some shit, some Detroit most wanted shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas pop, you know what I'm saying? Getting away with it, police on their ass, niggas from the hood, niggas we know, niggas that done been on Detroit most wanted. I'm gonna put their ass up on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you don't want to be on Detroit most wanted, nigga, you better learn how to motherfucking finesse. If not, this where the fuck you gonna be at, bitch. And this is only part one, because there's many of you dumb some bitches gonna go ahead out here broad daylight and you dumb motherfucker, broad daylight, broad face, you know what I'm saying? Man, you some bitches, Detroit most wanted. That's why you Detroit most wanted, because you one of the Detroit most stupidest. But well, they ain't the only ones that, you know, wanted in Detroit. We got some big dope dealers out this motherfucker that was wanted too, that was moving that bag. That bag was big, you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Moving that shit. Like I say, world, I'm gonna name this one right here, Detroit most wanted.
U.S. Marshals say Dwayne Richards is the final piece of a group they've been hunting for years. His cousin, the Kingpin, just locked up in California, leaving Richards in charge of the Detroit-based nationwide drug ring. Money, cars, drugs, and guns, all tied to a drug ring the U.S. Marshals say began right here on our streets.
This ain't your typical drug dealer on the street level. This guy is believed to be the head of an organization that was running the Detroit area.
Dwayne Richards at the top of the list for the U.S. Marshals Detroit Fugitive Apprehension Team. They say he's using the rap game to hide his real business.
Every young kid wants to be an aspiring rapper. This guy produces talent here locally in Detroit. He had his company, Big Homie Records, was his front.
Music videos that still grace the internet. Clues in the hunt for Richards and his accomplices.
Dwayne Richards was stopped by law enforcement. He had around $400,000 in his possession. And when law enforcement questioned him on it, he basically said, "That's not my money, I don't know where it is," and he just signed it off, forfeited the money. I mean, no big deal, $400,000 gone, and that's it. That's what kind of money we're talking about with this guy.
A key piece of evidence, a rented Phantom Rolls Royce.
This Rolls Royce has been everywhere. It's been in California, it's been at, you know, high-end rappers' houses, Snoop Dogg's house, Nate Dogg's funeral. This Rolls Royce just mysteriously pops up everywhere, all over the country. DFAT
Supervisor Aaron Garcia says this is the car tied to Richards' drug ring. Documented here by MTV as Snoop Dogg and his wife arrive at rapper Nate Dogg's funeral in Long Beach, California. Garcia says the Rolls was later spotted next to the Queen Mary ocean liner. He says it was after a bust at Greektown Casino here in Detroit. The luxury car was found in the back of a semi-trailer just across the border in Indiana. The car, worth several $100,000 itself, was found alongside this Mercedes and $4 million worth of cocaine. The drug ring busted again earlier this year, a big victory for law enforcement with the capture of Dwayne Richards' cousin, the suspected kingpin of the organization and fugitive for more than 10 years.
DEA, along with the U.S. Marshals, arrested the main supplier, Mark Jones, in September.
Now they're looking to close the book for good. They say Richards is here in Detroit and certainly well known, bringing serious crime that can be stopped with one phone call from a member of our own community.
Drug dealing is a direct nexus to the violent crime. The drugs on the street is where we get a lot of the shootings, a lot of the murders. When we shut him down, we shut down his organization who's operating here in Detroit. We need this guy in custody.
Take a good look at Dwayne Richards. There is a reward for information leading to his arrest, and you can call the U.S. Marshals 24/7 with any information. That number, 313-234-5656. I'm Anne-Marie LaFlame, 7 Action It's a quick temper and violent criminal history that has the U.S. Marshals most concerned about Martin Jones. They're certain he's here in Detroit and say it's only a matter of time before he claims his next victim. This is where it all began, October 15th, 2015. In never-before-seen video, police say 26-year-old Martin Jones can be seen here at Regal Spirits on Detroit's west side.
Martin Jones, who's a prior felon, has a weapon. He's trying to sell this weapon, this handgun, in the store.
After unsuccessfully selling the gun, Jones walks out of the parking lot where a Ford Flex is waiting for him, and this red car begins to back up.
As they drive out of the parking lot, they get into an accident with the vehicle that the suspect, Martin Jones, was in at the time.
And just like that, police say the gun went from on the market to on fire.
At that point, they were met with gunfire, and they were being shot at. 3
people shot as Jones gets in the Flex and takes off. That vehicle has been recovered without any sign of the shooter.
Martin Jones has a distinct look. He has tattoos on the neck. He could have short hair, he could have long hair. He's been off the radar for about a year.
He has a long criminal history, also wanted for assault and drugs. And now the marshals have made him priority number 1, offering a reward for anyone with information leading to his arrest.
We're going to get him. It's just a matter of if it's today, tomorrow.
Take another good look at Martin Jones. He's 6 feet tall, 150 pounds, and considered armed and dangerous. If you see him or know where he is, call the U.S. Marshals. That number is on your screen and on WXYZ.com. I'm Anne-Marie LaFlame, 7. It was an ambush attack. The U.S. Marshals say John Merriweather used a long gun, shooting a man 5 times.
They knew each other. The victim knew the shooter in this matter.
The victim was rushed to the hospital and remarkably survived. The shooting happened after an altercation between the victim and his children's mother. Police still don't know why Merriweather launched into an attack.
They got in an argument, and out of nowhere, John Merriweather comes to basically end the argument, end the dispute, and he pulls out a 12-gauge shotgun and it shoots him 5 times.
It happened here on Detroit's west side, familiar streets for Merriweather, and the exact place the marshals think he's still hiding out.
We don't think he has a lot of resources. We think he's just kind of laying low under the radar and obviously being helped by friends and possibly family.
Take a good look at John Merriweather. He's 5'9", 175 pounds, with a history of theft, drugs, and violence. He should be considered
obviously
armed and
Merriweather
dangerous.
has a temper. You know, he's known to snap. The next victim may not be as lucky.
Hunter is in Columbus, Ohio. He gets in an argument with a neighbor, some kind of dispute with the husband.
February 22nd was the day that changed everything for one Columbus family.
Hunter shoots the father dead. He shoots the wife several times right in front of the 14-year-old child.
Anywhere from 9 to 12 rounds. Somebody just opened up.
This is the man the U.S. Marshals say is responsible for the horrific crime, 29-year-old Randy Hunter.
Husband's dead, kid sees it all, he takes off, he flees. He comes back to where he's from, his neighborhood.
That neighborhood, the streets of Detroit. Right now, the Marshals have narrowed Hunter's location down to Detroit, Westland, and Taylor, where they believe family is letting him stay.
He's bouncing from house to house once again. He fled Ohio, and now this trash comes back to our city, our communities, our neighborhoods, and we got to deal with it.
Take a good look at Randy Hunter. He's 5'6", 145 pounds, and police believe he's still armed with that murder weapon.
This guy completely destroyed this family. The father's dead. The mom has to deal with this the rest of her life, and the kid's going to be scarred for the rest of their life.
He's not trying to conceal no identity. He's putting out there to the public he has a gun.
Yeah, and he knows how to use it. Tonight, Detroit's most wanted going after a suspected killer. U.S. Marshals say Lloyd Ray has a social media following, and he's well known in the Inkster area.
But he may have changed his look to hide from the law. And 7 Action News reporter Anne-Marie LaFlame heats up the search for Detroit's most wanted.
Our guy, Ray, who we're looking for, is gone, left the scene, he's fled, and you got a guy dead and another guy with 3 to 4 bullet holes in him.
A murder in Lincoln Park.
They're associates of each other through a mutual friend. They meet up at this apartment. Argument ensues over something unknown if it's drug related.
The U.S. Marshals say the suspect, Lloyd Ray, is no stranger to the law.
Known to be the Inkster area, Little Saigon area, gang infested. That's where 99% of Inkster's problems come from, this little area.
He goes by Saigon Shooter on the streets and on social media.
They're not shy. He's not trying to conceal no identity. He's putting out there to the public he has a gun. He's not trying to conceal anything. These guys are very brave,
very violent. We know that he's from Inkster. He's bouncing around that area. He's well known in Inkster, and also obviously Lincoln Park, Detroit.
Now, there is a cash reward for any information leading police to Lloyd Ray. You can call them anytime and remain anonymous at 313-234-5656. I'm Anne-Marie LaFlame, 7 Action News.
His distinctive tattoos, though, could get him caught. Tonight, Detroit's most wanted on the hunt for Kelly Powell.
The man police believe is part of a drug pipeline in Metro Detroit is now wanted for murder.
7 Action News reporter Anne-Marie LaFlame teaming up with U.S. Marshals to find him.
The marshals say Kelly Powell shot a man in the head in West Virginia, killing him while wounding another, then coming back home to Pontiac to hide out.
He has a criminal history. It just keeps escalating, and now we're sitting here with an open homicide warrant for his arrest.
Kelly Powell, just 22 years old, believed to be couch surfing in Pontiac, hiding out after police say he killed a man in West Virginia late last month.
Zero regard for any human life.
Known as Stacks, Deputy U.S. Marshal Aaron Garcia says Powell is now their top priority.
It's a tight-knit community, and they're trying to clean up their cities. The Sheriff's Department is doing a great job. They're cleaning up what they have in Pontiac. And now you got some guy who kills somebody out of state and comes back to that community. He's not wanted. He's not welcome.
Check out these tattoos all over the hands of Powell and a scar under his left eye. The marshals believe his crimes are fueled by drugs.
There's a huge pipeline from West Virginia to Detroit. A lot of dope going back and forth from West Virginia to Detroit to Pontiac area to Michigan.
Take a good look at 22-year-old Kelly Lee Powell, known as Stacks. He's 5'8", 165 pounds. He's believed to be in Pontiac or possibly Detroit.
I think he's bouncing from house to house to his friends, whoever will help him out.
Now, there is a cash reward for any information leading the marshals to Kelly Powell. You can call them anytime and remain anonymous at 313-234-5656. I'm Anne-Marie LaFlame, 7 Action News.
One of the victims were held at gunpoint, tied up, couldn't move, couldn't do anything, while their kids were there in the crossfire in the middle of this whole thing.
A parent's nightmare.
You wouldn't ever in your life want to go through what I went through.
2 men stormed this East Side home.
Your kids in the house with 2 armed gunmen, you don't know why they're in there, what they want. You keep telling them, I got money, I got whatever y'all want, I give it to y'all, and they keep telling y'all be quiet. U.S.
Marshals say Corey Robinson and Julius Coleman were behind it all, holding the family at gunpoint during what became a hostage situation in the early morning hours of November 29th.
These guys are cowards. To use children, small children, is a human shield.
When the negotiations failed, police say Robinson and Coleman set the house on fire, leaving the 2- and 4-year-old children inside.
They're going to be tragically scarred for the rest of their life.
The kids went to the hospital in critical condition, suffering from smoke inhalation, while Detroit police captured Robinson. But in the chaos, Julius Coleman managed to escape.
We're utilizing all our resources possible to try to put this guy behind bars. Coleman does have ties to Redford in the Detroit, west side of Detroit area.
The children have since recovered as the U.S. Marshals move Coleman to the top of their list. Take a good look at Julius Coleman. He's 5'10", 160 pounds.
He's not a big, flashy guy. We don't think he has a ton of resources, but he's laying low enough to stay off the radar.
And as always, the U.S. Marshals are offering a reward for any information leading to Coleman's arrest. You can call them 24/7 and remain anonymous at 313-234-5656. I'm Anne-Marie LaFlame, 7 Action News.
Investigators believe Frederick Gordon, known as Jeezy, has been bouncing back and forth from Detroit to other states to avoid being caught for several years and may even have some help.
It's a horrible crime for somebody to just walk in, people getting together, playing cards, and just start shooting rounds.
He's accused of killing 1 man on Detroit's east side, but U.S. Marshals DFAT supervisor Aaron Garcia says it could have easily been many more.
He could have killed anybody. He could have killed multiple people in that house.
39-year-old Reginald Hall died of multiple gunshots at this house in December 2011. Authorities say the target of Frederick Gordon's violent rage, it was a shooting spree where the victim had no chance.
Frederick Gordon, Jeezy, walks in the door. He looks around. He basically stalks his prey.
Police still don't know a motive, how or if Gordon knew the victim.
He sees the victim at the table. The victim stands up, and Jeezy begins firing multiple shots at him, striking him, killing him. and he just turns around, walks right back out the door.
On the run ever since, a top priority for the U.S. Marshals and Detroit police.
Violent guy, habitual offender, career criminal.
Take a look at Gordon's distinctive tattoos, an East Detroit native who Garcia says is pretty well known.
He has a lot of friends here, a lot of acquaintances. He's possibly still here. He hangs out on the east side. This is a bad guy, and this guy needs to go to jail.
Hiding from police more than 3 years now, they're afraid it's just a matter of time before he strikes again.
This guy will continue to do what he needs to do to stay out there on the lam and fund himself to stay alive. He needs to go to jail, and we need your help to find him.
Take a good look at Frederick Gordon, known as Jeezy. He's 38 years old, wanted in Detroit for murder, and of course is considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information on where he may be should call the U.S. Marshals. They're available 24/7 at that number on your screen. I'm Anne-Marie LaFlame, 7 Action News.
Thank you,
The
Anne-Marie.
pressure is on. This is Dewan Jackson, wanted for probation violations in Wayne County and murder in West Virginia.
He shows up at an apartment complex. He gets in an argument, a verbal argument with the victim, and next thing you know, multiple gunshot rings out, and he's dead laying on the floor.
With a long rap sheet, Deputy U.S. Marshal Aaron Garcia says he has a hunch why Jackson went south.
There's a huge nexus between West Virginia and Detroit. There's a huge pipeline that drugs often flow between the two states. So we don't know why he was down there. We can only assume why.
Jackson may think he can hide, but he has quite a few identifiable tattoos and a known street name as the marshals narrow in on his location.
He goes by the name Montana. That's what everybody knows him by. He's an East Sider. We believe he's going to be in the area of Hayes, Harper, Chalmers, and we also had tips that he was in the Davison-Linwood area.
Take a good look at 24-year-old Dewan Deshaun Jackson. He's 5'6", 135 pounds, known as Montana, and considered armed and dangerous.
He goes out of state, does this crime, don't think no one's going to link him back here, and now here we are. We got to deal with him and his garbage over here in our city. You know, now he's a risk to our community over here.
Curtis Cox was with his cousin. They get in an argument over a gun.
An argument over a gun in this River Rouge alley.
Cox retrieves the weapon, and he shoots his cousin right in the chest and kills him.
The U.S. Marshals say it didn't take much to set 20-year-old Curtis Cox off.
Somebody who's completely heartless and cold kills their own blood, their own family, their cousin.
It happened in November 2015, and Cox has been on the run ever since.
He has ties to Lincoln Park, to Downriver. He has a child. He has close friends in that River Rouge community are all tight.
Which is why the marshals are turning up the heat on the people helping this suspected killer.
When we find him, helping him out, when we know they're harboring him or giving him a safe haven, they're going to be charged.
Take a good look at Curtis Cox. He's 5'8", 165 pounds, and should be considered armed and dangerous.
He's a young punk kid. He's hanging out. He's jumping around. Knows a ton of people on the street. Has a bunch of loyal friends that are just helping him.
Is wanted by the Fremont Police Department out of Ohio.
He's one of ours, a Metro Detroit native, but the U.S. Marshals say Corny's Hawthorne is taking his violent ways across state lines, accused in a shooting while visiting his girlfriend.
While he's over there visiting her, he decides to go do an armed robbery.
Deputy U.S. Marshal Aaron Garcia says Hawthorne wanted to get some quick cash.
He encounters a female who's in that home. He puts a gun to her head and demands money. At that point, she's home with her boyfriend and also 3 children.
Garcia says the woman ran and hid in the closet. That's when the robbery took a turn for the worst.
Next thing you know, she hears 4 to 5 gunshots, and she runs out of the closet and sees the victim laying on the floor with a gunshot wound to the head.
Hawthorne's known to be on the east side of Detroit with ties to Harper Woods and Hamtramck.
We know this guy's from the Detroit area, Harper Woods area. He has family here. We have information that he is here. We just need to find out exactly where he's at this point.
Take a good look at Corny's Hawthorne.
He's a young male, 22 years old, 5'1", 125 pounds, and he goes by the nickname
A huge drug ring based out of Detroit busted by the DEA.
2 convicted kingpins are now serving life behind bars, while U.S. Marshals say a co-conspirator keeps
This
their
organization
business
was one of the biggest drug organizations in Michigan.
An organization the U.S. Marshals and DEA want to finally close the book on.
This organization was known for moving drugs from Michigan to Arizona, to, from Mexico. This was a national organization. These guys got contacts everywhere.
The U.S. Marshals captured ringleaders Eric and Carlos Powell, brothers now serving life for that heroin ring. That puts Dwayne Taylor at the top of the most wanted list.
Taylor would be in charge of moving the heroin from the semi-trucks, getting them to the locations they need to go.
Deputy U.S. Marshal Aaron Garcia believes Taylor now leads the drug ring, still based here in Detroit.
This is a guy who has resources, who has access to drugs, to weapons that are filling our community here in the city of Detroit.
Take a good look at Dwayne Taylor. He's 5'7", 185 pounds. He uses the alias Dale Hill or Wheezy.
This guy here is in the Detroit area still, somewhere in the Detroit metro area. We just need that one tip, that viewer's tip.
A random shooting. Jalen was never in any trouble. He has no criminal history. I haven't even found a speeding ticket, a parking ticket.
Detective Gary Prisbella with DPD Homicide says by all accounts, 21-year-old Jalen Brown, a young father, was a good person. He graduated high school, helped take care of his twin 8-year-old brothers, and was getting ready to start a new job. But on New Year's Day, a gunman cut his life short.
He pulled up in front of the house, and as his twin 8-year-old brothers were walking out of the house, a car pulls up next to his vehicle, opens fire, striking him multiple times.
It happened around 11 at night on the 15,000 block of Ward on the city's west side in front of his young siblings, one of them talking to us in tears at a vigil for Jalen days after the murder.
Me and my brother was walking outside about to go in the car, and then my brother parked, but he still had the car out, and then this one car pulled by him, and my brother was on his phone, and then my brother turned around and they started shooting.
As a father myself, I can't. It's very hard to listen to what they have to see. Now they have to deal with that for the rest of their lives.
This is the car detectives say the gunman was in, an early 90s Buick Roadmaster.
The person that did this is extremely, extremely dangerous. Not only did he already take somebody else's life, the whole neighborhood and community is in danger because he didn't care that these little kids could have been hit.
It won't change, man. Money won't change.